channel. If you're new here, my name is Niara Alexis. I mostly focus on hair, a little bit of beauty and lifestyle. So if that sounds like something you're into, you might want to go ahead and subscribe. So today I want to talk to you guys about knotless braids and how you can make them a protective style, because I've seen a lot of talk online saying like this style isn't a protective style, and honestly for me, every summer I wear this style and I see crazy hair growth every summer, and there are a couple of things that I do that I feel like other people might not be doing, which is why it's not a protective style in some cases. My tutorial on how I did these braids linked down below. My braids guide that goes a little bit more in depth on this style, teaching you from A to Z how I did this, will be down below. It also includes aftercare and prep in that guide as well, so you get everything all in one. I know this is gonna hurt some of y'all, but all of the product that they're putting in your hair or that you're putting in your hair when you install this is not making this a protective style. Like, that is literally just for aesthetics, it's just for looks. You are starting with product buildup from day one. From the day that those braids are installed, product buildup immediately. You can't really call that a protective style, and I get why people say like, knotless braids are not a protective style, because 9 times out of 10 when you see them, what you see? You see those crispy clean parts. That hair is slicked down, baby. Look like you got a fresh relaxer. In some cases, some of y'all do. We're gonna talk about that later. But yeah, you can't do that. When I put my braids in, I use the tiniest bit of Shine and Jam on the base of my braid, not on my scalp, but the base of my braid, like the hair, to lay it down and smooth it a little bit, but that is it. Because what you don't want to do is clog your hair follicles, and that's what you're doing with all that product. Because one, like I said, it's going to clog your hair follicle, but two, you're not going to want to wear the style as long for it to truly be a protective style, because you have all this product buildup. And you know, you got to scratch your head, and then you have all that product on your nails, you can be like, my hair is dirty. It's not really dirty. You just started with product buildup on day one. So the less product you can use, the better. And that's what I did for these braids that I have in my hair right now. I have barely any product. I actually just washed these braids. I have no product buildup on my braids at all. And I usually go for a more like lived in boho type of look. A lot of people are not moisturizing their hair when it's in braids. I find a lot of times people are just putting the braids in and they leave their hair alone completely. They don't wash it, they don't put any treatments on it, like they're not touching their hair at all. I had somebody ask me on a live recently, like, are you worried about not having any hair content when you put your braids in? And that just let me know a lot of people are not doing anything to their hair while they're in the braids, and that's the wrong approach to have to it. And that is another reason why your knotless braids are not a protective style. You still need to be cleansing your hair. You should still be nurturing the hair using some sort of supplement, serum, but the most important thing is moisturizing your hair. Because a lot of times when people take their braids out and they're like, oh, look at how much fallout or how much breakage I have and the knotless braids took my hair out. No, you took your hair out because you did not moisturize your hair at all. And this can be a drying style if you do not take care of it and moisturize it regularly. So one thing that we talked about on my channel this past year was how water is really the only thing that moisturizes your hair. It's not any sort of product, and it's definitely not an oil. Oil seals the moisture that you already have in your hair in, but water is the main thing that is moisturizing everything. You want to go ahead and make sure you get some sort of wash schedule down, cleansing your hair. But what people don't realize is like when you are washing your hair, that water that you're using is hydrating the hair. You also want to find a really good leave-in conditioner, something that is water-based, not the thick creamy one that you usually use, but something that you can spray on your hair. Even if you can use it daily, I feel like that would be great too. It's put away right now. I'll pop it up here on the screen. The one that I like to use is the Pantene Essence. It's a leave-in strengthening treatment, and I use that on my scalp and my hair almost every day. And when I say my hair, I'm not spraying all the way down here because my hair has not grown all the way down there. I'm spraying it to about like right here, like where I know like my natural hair ends. So I'm spraying it all in this area, and I use that to moisturize my hair on a regular basis. Now, when it comes to like sealing that moisture in, you could redo this every day if you want, or if you're like, I don't want to be applying that much product to my hair, maybe, you know, moisturize it and then apply an oil on top. But just be light-handed with this. You don't want to go overboard, because that again will cause a lot of product buildup that will cause you to want to take your hair out sooner than you should. Now, on top of that, I want you to also be looking for treatments and things that you can do to help promote hair growth while you have your hair in this protective style. Because the best thing that you're doing for it right now is leaving it alone. You're not applying a bunch of heat. You're not manipulating it a lot. So you want to continue to feed it good things. So like I mentioned, the Pantene leave-in treatment is one that I really like. Any serums or things that you can apply to your scalp that help promote hair growth. I'm currently using the Sacred Restoring Hair and Edge Drops. I really like those. I tried them for 30 days back in, I want to say it was November, and the difference that I saw on my edges was like, I was like, oh, okay, this means business. This makes sense. But anything that you use, you want to make sure it's water-based, something that's going to absorb into the hair and into the scalp. And also, because it's water-based, it's going to have that little extra bit of moisture for your hair too. I also take Nutrafol on a daily basis. That's when you should take it. I take 4 capsules a day. So if you want to choose any sort of oral supplement to take, I would just, you know, be mindful of what's in it. Make sure it works for you. I personally like Nutrafol. I've been using it for over a year now, and I do have a discount code for it linked down below for you guys if you're interested in trying it. I feel like we're always so mindful of this when you have your hair out and free. Like, you're using a bonnet, you're wrapping it up, you're using little foam rollers, anything like to protect the hair at night, right? But I feel like when it comes to braids, everyone's just like, oh, willy-nilly. I'm not saying there's not a night or two where I go to sleep and I don't have my hair protected. Yes, that do be happening sometimes. But if you're doing it every single night, that's why your protective style is not protective, because you're not doing anything to protect your hair. So the main thing I feel like is super important is like your edges, like around your perimeter. So I like to put my hair up in a bun. It's a very loose bun though. It's not tight or constricting or anything like that. It's a looser bun, but it's still sturdy. It's not like flopping all over my head. And then I put a scarf around the base, like around my perimeter. It takes 2 seconds because your hair is in braids. So it's not like you're having to do like a whole routine, you know, but you still need to protect it at night. That's why your knotless braids are not a protective style. Now, speaking of the buns and stuff, a lot of people, I don't know what it is, as soon as everyone gets the braids, they want to tie their hair up in a bun, in a ponytail, in a half up, half down, like immediately. Do not do that. Just let it hang. Just let it be. I was on the phone with my friend like a few weeks ago, and she had just gotten braids, like literally just gotten them, and already had her hair up in a ponytail, and I had her take her hair out of the ponytail while I was on the phone. Because girl, you're not gonna have any hair. It's a very manipulative style when you think of the process to put it in. But once you put it in and it relaxes and you leave it alone, it's fine. But that first week, I honestly feel like you shouldn't be putting a ponytail or a bun or nothing. Just let it hang. Just let it hang and let it be. If anything, if you need to get your hair out of your face, I would pull it back and do one of these, like a low something like this, very loose, you see, and take a claw clip. I maybe pull it back like that if you just have to get it out of your face. But 9 times out of 10, you're gonna catch me with my braids just down and hanging. I hardly ever wear it in a ponytail. If I am, it's a low, looser ponytail, because as soon as you start to plop it up here, like it just gets to pulling. The weight is too much. And don't try to pull it tight thinking like, oh, that makes it more sturdy. It might make it more sturdy, but your edges is popping out follicle by follicle. Oh, and also your edges. I forgot about that. How did I forget? Your edges. Let them be a little bit. I always get asked like, what edge control do you use that lasts all day? Do this answer your question? None. I don't put anything on my edges when my hair is on braids. Now, mind you, I have had a few mishaps with my edges in the past couple years, okay? I don't know what has been happening. They have been popping out left and right. But one thing I can say is I have been able to grow them back every single time. Every single time. When they pop out, they come right back. So just leave them alone. Like this time, you want to like just let them chill. If anything, if I'm going to like an event, somewhere I'm gonna be photographed, maybe my hair is gonna be like pulled back, you know, all the time, like maybe in like a half up or half down or something, or like a low pony, and I really just want them to look a little extra, you know, smooth, I'll do it. But that's here or there. I know some people every day you're slicking down your edges, and that is why your knotless braids are, again, not a protective style, because you are consistently manipulating this hair right here. It's just like when you get a sew-in and you're consistently frying your leave out, you know, think of your edges like that too. Your knotless braids are not a protective style because you're not leaving them in long enough. A lot of people get knotless braids for like 2 weeks, and then I don't know why y'all, when you're taking it out, you cutting the braid down here. You know your hair ain't down there. It's not down there. I don't care how long you let the braids in for. If your hair is all the way down there, baby, you have a dread at that point. You need to leave them in. People, I understand if you're going on vacation or whatever and you're not even looking for this to be a protective style. I get it 100%. But some people are leaving these braids in for like 3 weeks, and then they're snatching them right out, and then they want a fresh set. And a lot of that goes back to my first point, where you have a lot of product on your hair and you want to take it out, and you kind of low-key have to take it out because there's no way you could get your hair clean with all that product and you still having the braids in. You would have to take your braids out in order to get all that product out. You need to leave the braids in, and you need to leave your hair alone for a specific, or I won't say specific, but for like a considerable amount of time for it to actually be protective. So for me personally, I wear my braids for 6 weeks. Sometimes I'll go a little bit over to like 7, maybe 8, like that's 2 months at that point, but usually it's around like 1.5 months, 6 weeks. I do try to give my hair a break in between sets as well, so I'll take my braids out, I'll maybe do like cornrows or something like that, and then maybe I'll put another set in like a week later. I try not to go from braids to braids to braids to braids. Like I try to give it like a little grace period in between. I'm moisturizing it, I'm hydrating it, I'm putting treatments in it, we having growth supplements, she's getting protected at night. I'm doing all the things to care and nurture for my hair, but I'm still not actually having to do my hair. And I feel like that's a lot of the reasons why people get protective styles, or specifically these knotless braids, is because you like the look of them, but you don't want to have to do your hair. And I get that, but you still need to have some sort of regimen to like nurture the hair while it's in this style, and just leaving it alone for a good amount of time, I promise will do a lot of good for your hair if it can just be left alone. So I hope that was helpful. I know a lot of people talk about knotless braids and say it's not a protective style, it's not a protective style. I feel like in some cases, you're right, it's not a protective style, but I feel like in other cases, it definitely can be. It just all depends on how you care for your hair while it's in the braids. A lot of information is already here on my YouTube if you're curious about it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.